Welcome to another episode of Strategic Minds Making Money Moves, where we give those strategies to do what? Make that green. I am so excited today to have with me Frederick Stanfield. He is going to talk to you about his business and what he brings to the table and how he can also help you. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Would you please share with the audience a little bit about your business?
Sure. I'm Frederick Stanfield. I'm the founder of LifeWater Wealth Management. LifeWater Wealth Management provides financial guidance and wealth solutions that are really designed to help you live well.
All right. Okay. All right. So this is your company.
It is.
You founded it. How long have you been in business?
Yes. I've been in business for 3 years. I've been in the financial planning space and financial planning, financial advice for over 25 years.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome. Sounds like you have an impressive business and you're doing extremely well.
Thank you.
Do you have a particular target audience that you go after?
Yes, we really target 4 categories. It's executives, corporate executives, small business owners, and individuals who are generally high net worth individuals who have several $1 million in assets to manage. And then people who are in life transitions. And life transitions can be things from retirement, could be divorce, it could be sudden wealth, or it could be in a career change.
Oh, now that's really interesting to think about the fact that, because we know life happens,
Yes.
right? And thinking about there's a place that I can go to actually help me as I'm going through some of those transitions.
Correct.
And I'm sure losing jobs and all the rest of that becomes things that you have to evaluate, as you continue to move forward and help someone
Yes.
As an individual. So what would you like to talk about today?
Yes, I like to talk about 2 things that I often see when I'm dealing with individuals in the area of financial planning and investment management. It's the speed of trust and it's the speed of action. And when I talk about those things, the speed of trust of getting people to that point quicker, of trusting you that they're willing to reveal everything about their financial situation so that you can help them prescribe the best plans to help them achieve their objectives. And then the speed of action is to say, once you've got that trust, life happens and people are busy with work and it's not always the thing that's top of mind, but how do you get them to do it quickly so that you can get them on that journey to financial success and security faster?
So let's talk about that. What's the average time period? Let's take the first one. What's the average time period that you believe, based upon your last few years of experience or working with clients, how long does it really take them to gain your trust?
Yeah. Usually over a period, I'd say 3 to 4 meetings. It's got to be 3 to 4 encounters where you've had some in-depth conversations, and that just depends on schedule, but usually that's going to be a 60 to 90-day time period of getting that trust and comfort level that they're ready to start sharing and taking that journey with you.
So when you get that trust and they're sharing information at that 90-day level with you, and they're finally like, okay, I trust you, I want to do that. Have you ever thought about what those characteristics were that happened in those meetings that made them say yes?
Yes, very good question. And usually, yes. What I've found, in some instances, it's a heart connection of saying, how can I relate to you? Yes, I know what you do as a profession. I know you're a CPA, a CFP, but how do I connect with the individual? And it's always trying to make sure that you get beyond the analytics and the business to connecting at a heart level. And I've seen that happen more often than not, that in those instances, it seems to be a little bit quicker traction.
Okay. Well, then let's take your second part, where you're talking about, okay, now you have the trust.
Yes.
Well, on average, how long is it taking someone to actually follow through, do what you say? So you all may have a meeting and they go, okay, yes, I'm ready. And you're like, okay, well, here's what I need. What's that average turnaround?
Yeah, usually that first meeting that we have after we've said yes, we've got an agreement, it's, okay, here are the next steps. Here are the things that we need to do to get the ball rolling. And you'll give a list, a very detailed process of these are the things we need to do. And I find that can range from some type A personalities who are very on it. They can have it all done in 3-4 weeks. But then there's the people who are finances are not necessarily at the forefront of their mind. It could be 3 or 4 months, it's a trickle of information. So you get there, but it just takes longer. And I'm often trying to balance You don't want to be an ogre and push too hard to saying, well, is there something we can do to make this process faster?
Okay, well, I would love to explore those two opportunities with you because I think that, as I sit back and think, even as people would approach me, right? I was in corporate America. Everybody was like, okay, we figure you make a high income. Everybody wanted to get in my pocket, right?
Yep.
And I got that, right? And the deal was, I will tell you personally, it was more of who do you know and do I trust you to keep your mouth closed, right? It's about that trust of not that do I trust you to do the right thing with my money,
Right.
but is do I trust you not to talk, right? Not to tell my business, right? Because telling my business can be more harmful than, in a lot of ways, letting people know, oh, well, they got debt of this and they're doing that. That can be more harmful to me in terms of a brand in the city, not just about the money that you're investing and how you're investing it. Sure. So when we talk about getting that trust, it's one thing to give you the financial information and let you have it, but we got to get over the barriers that you're going to keep your word. You're going to say what you say. You're not going to talk. You're not going to tell other people, et cetera, because that's also part of your brand.
Right.
And being able to get future business. I want to pick up on this conversation. We're going to take a station break. When we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit more about what that means. Okay. We'll be right back.
Strategic Minds, Making Money Moves with Vicki Wright Hamilton focuses on helping entrepreneurs to overcome their business challenges to help increase their bottom line. Each episode provides strategies for growth and transformation. Watch Vicki share her 20-plus years of experience as a corporate executive to help entrepreneurs level up.
When I was in college, I had a college professor to tell me I would never, ever make it in technology. He told me that I needed to change my career, all because I took a test and got a D after studying so very hard. I knew at that point that I had to learn the game of life and survival. How did I do that? I really put on my game face so that they never knew what to expect, when, where, or how. See, life has all of its journeys and obstacles. We all have a story to tell, and we have many different paths that we take. My journey to this moment has not been easy. You have to play the game, play to win, and you win by wearing your game face. When we think about strategy, think about moving forward, we're always wondering and concerned, are we hitting the right target audience? Are we doing the right things to take our business forward? Don't lose sight of the fact that your talents and your passion brought you here. Those talents and passion can be contagious to those who want to hear it, who want to learn, and who want to know more. It's just important to do what? Tell our story. Tell the story that touches each and every person that you want to contribute and be a customer to your business. Address their issues, address their concerns, take care of them. It's all about making somebody what? Feel good. It's not what we do for them. It's not how we do it. It's how we make them feel. Welcome back. I think that's something that you said earlier that I really want to explore further. And it may be a strategy that you may want to think about. And I thought about this as I started thinking about behaviors. And I think about my behavior. of how I responded. I have someone in my family that's in the industry, and I think about when they approached me, even though they're my family, my response to how my son responded with his family, to how my youngest son responded and where he is, to how my husband responded. And what I will say to you that becomes very clear to me is there is somewhat of a science behind this. And the science is generational. The science is that every generation, there's multiple components. One is how we communicate. Everybody doesn't communicate the same. Two is how we value money and what we're looking for from money and what that means. And three is how we value a relationship. So if I look at Generation X, they want it now, they want to do it now. They have, they're trying to get that return, they're trying to make it there, they're trying to, because of what they've seen, life experiences that they've been a part of. If I look at millennials, as you're really thinking about, their speed to response, what do they want? Yes, they want to communicate where it's quick, it's easy, but I need to be able to trust you, not only about your knowledge about what you have, but I also need to trust you from the fact that I know you understand what I'm dealing with in terms of debt, what I'm dealing with in terms of moving forward, all the challenges that I'm facing. All of those things make a huge impact. As a millennial is sitting there trying to say, okay, now what you want me to do what now? And you want me to give you how much money? And I'm not sure that relationship is where it needs to be for me to do that. And then our Generation Z is like, I want to know who's in your network. I want to know what you know, because they're the research generation. They're all about technology. They're going to go do their research.
Yes.
You ask them something, they're going out on Google, they're doing their research, they're going to find out who your competitors are, they're going to find out who you connected to, how you really going to help me. So a lot of this in building trust is recognizing those generational differences and adapting our styles to that. And that's not easy to do.
True.
It's not easy to do, but it's something that if we're able to do, will allow us to meet them where they are, right? In terms of what you need.
True.
You talked about your buckets earlier, and transition. There's a lot of people that are like, you trying to get me to talk about, dying. You trying to get me to talk about retirement. You trying to get me to talk about the future. I can't pay my light bill this month, right? And I'm really worried about paying my light bill. But when you can come to someone and say, what if I could help you pay your light bill today and then help you to be able to save so you could take a trip next year and then be able to get you to a point to where you could eventually buy property, retire, whatever. Now we're talking about a roadmap that's to them.
Yes.
That response becomes a lot quicker.
Yes. Yes. No, and I agree with you 100%. And you hit a lot of key points there. It's moving from, it's not about assets and necessarily money you have to invest. It's more about holistic planning of a couple things you said. It's a roadmap of you're at point A and you're trying to get to point B. And it's having the trust in your advisor that the strategies we will employ get you from point A to point B. But over time, and there are different aspects of that. It's not just investments in the market, but it's lifestyle decisions, it's vacation decisions, it's investment and estate and tax planning decisions that go along with that. So to your point, getting that trust level quicker, you get to those points to get to those roadmaps and show tangible results.
Right. But I think that's why it's so important to, as you're doing this, is to communicate to them on the level of where they are and what they're thinking and what they're going through and what they're facing. Especially with all the financial uncertainty, school loans, we got, people got debt up the wazoo. It's just hard to get the mindset of thinking about tomorrow when I can't get through today, right? And so I think that contributes to it. I think the other thing is on your second part of the question where you were asking, once I get that trust to get them to move. We're going to take a station break. When we come back, I have a few things that I want to explore there because I think there are some practical reasons. Yes, it's time, but I think there are other things that are there that could help you in terms of speeding that time up. We're going to take a station break and then see if we have a question or comment from the audience. We'll be right back.
Strategic Minds, Making Money Moves with Vicki Wright Hamilton focuses on helping entrepreneurs to overcome their business challenges to help increase their bottom line. Each episode provides strategies for growth and transformation. Watch Vicki share her 20-plus years of experience as a corporate executive to help entrepreneurs level up.
When I was in college, I had a college professor to tell me I would never, ever make it in technology. He told me that I needed to change my career, all because I took a test and got a D after studying so very hard. I knew at that point that I had to learn the game of life and survival. How did I do that? I really put on my game face so that they never knew what to expect, when, where, or how. See, life has all of its journeys and obstacles. We all have a story to tell, and we have many different paths that we take. My journey to this moment has not been easy. You have to play the game, play to win, and you win by wearing your game face. When we think about strategy, think about moving forward, we're always wondering and concerned, are we hitting the right target audience? Are we doing the right things to take our business forward? Don't lose sight of the fact that your talents and your passion brought you here. Those talents and passion can be contagious to those who want to hear it, who want to learn, and who want to know more. It's just important to do what? Tell our story. Tell the story that touches each and every person that you want to contribute and be a customer to your business. Address their issues, address their concerns, take care of them. It's all about making somebody what? Feel good. It's not what we do for them. It's not how we do it. It's how we make them feel. Welcome back. So as we were talking before, I do think that as you begin to meet with individuals and really understanding, we have people that are in different brackets, as you know, across all the generations. And I do think that there's opportunities for training and learning and development, as we continue to do that, but doing it the way that they receive it, doing the way that they understand it, that is going to relate to them in terms of making it happen. How did you end up getting in this in the first place?
That's a great question. I'll go all the way back to childhood, something that left an indelible mark that gave me a passion, not so much just a passion to do this, but a calling. When I was 12 years old, my father passed. And he left my mom at home, it wasn't his fault. That left her no plan financially, no guidance, and she had no experience whatsoever ever managing personal finances. And fast forward 1 year when you're 13 years old and you're sitting at the table with your mom at 13 and trying to explain to her how to do a financial budget to the extent that a parent's going to listen to a 13-year-old tell them that, it's quite a stretch. But just seeing what she went through, left a mark on me that said, whenever I get the opportunity somewhere in life, my calling is to make sure that nobody else has to experience what she went through and to be able to help people through those sort of situations.
So that story, you talked about getting to the heart. That story is a story that somebody can relate to say, wow, my mom will be in the same position, or my dad, or I don't understand, or I don't know either. And so I do believe that there is a marketing opportunity here to a certain segment, but I think you're speeding up of time. That trust is going to be my ability to relate to the feelings, the actions that go through, what you're how do you make me feel? And how are you going to help me overcome a challenge? And, I always, it's always about helping me to get through that challenge of today, even though I'm planning for tomorrow. Right. And I think that's why a lot of our mindsets around generational wealth and all of that is hard, because it's hard people to think about, I'm going to leave this to my child, or I'm going to leave this to so-and-so or whatever, when I am trying to get through the day-to-day of life and live my life to the fullest and do the things that I want to do as well. So I do think that your timing is really going to be that relatability, but it's going to be meeting them the way they like to be met. And some of them are going to be instant. Some of them you're going to be able to say, look, I asked you for this. This is what I need. Provide them something they can click and do, and it's quick, right? Because that's how they operate, right? They don't want all these steps. The other thing that I would think about is when you give them, these are the 10 things that I need, set up times where we're going to get together and we're going to work through 1 and 2. Then we're going to get together and we're going to work through 3 and 4. Walk them through the process. Sometimes it is so daggone scary to do it. But then more importantly, if it ain't on my calendar, I'm not getting it done. Right? So even my own personal advisor will say, okay, Vicki, we got to do so-and-so. I'm setting up an appointment for us to do it. Well, if it's on my calendar, I'm going to get it done. I've allocated the time. But you're going to ask me to go do that on my own time. I got 1,000 other things to do. I don't have time for that. Right? Like that. And it's not that I don't care. It's just trying to fit it in. So trying to find time to work with them, can also help with that process. Like that. Let's see if we have a question or comment from the audience.
Hello, my name is Clara Richardson Olguin, and I'm the CEO and owner of CIC Floors. We are a custom interior contractor, and as a small business, we always try to find a way to communicate also with our teens and our kids as growing our family. I just have a question related to finances. Have you any project or program that is related directly to teens for schools to teach them how to build that mindset into business?
That's a great question, because you can never start too young learning about finances. And while I don't personally go into schools and do it, a lot of schools have programs through Junior Achievement where they will come into the school and offer programs that helps to start educate kids about personal finances. So usually if you go into your administration office at the school and ask about Junior Achievement or other type programs that offer finance-based training within the school system.
Thank you for your question. So, it's interesting you say that, you can go into some schools, because we know some schools have the funding, some schools don't, in terms of doing that. And you're right, you can never start too young in terms of doing that. And I think that also contributes to some of our education.
True.
In terms of moving forward, because we still have students that are first generation. We still have we still have the lack of knowledge and education in a lot of areas, just because they haven't been exposed. Not because there's a problem. They just simply have not been exposed, and they just need the opportunity.
True.
So I do think that those are things that you can think about as you're working with individuals, and as you're working with them, trying to understand what their needs are, helps you build a portfolio that I'm finding some commonalities here. I'm finding more people that are struggling with this issue. So let me build a story and a process to help them work through just that one issue, as opposed to broadly about everything, that product can do, as we continue to move forward, time-wise.
Great. Thank you.
No, not a problem. Not a problem. So through your customer base, is it pretty spread out generationally, or are you finding more on one end than the other, or?
As somebody alluded to this a little bit earlier, generally tends to be concentrated. You accumulate wealth as you work and you get later in the year, so it tends to skew to be a little bit over 50. At that point, you're starting to really make money and you have that ability to compound wealth. Or in some instances, when it's younger, it's because of inheritance. And so you inherited a fair amount of wealth and you need a financial advisor.
Okay. Well, one of the things I would say is that you're absolutely right. To get that wealth, you can be older. But because of all the products you offer, I think there's opportunities earlier in terms of being able to engage people. Because, the thing is that and then you talk about response time with those that are older. Well, it's really harder to find that time as you're trying to move forward. So that can contribute to why you're feeling as though, I just can't get them to turn around enough. They got the trust, but I can't get them to push the button, to do what needs to be done.
Yes.
And a lot of that has to deal with, what they're doing in their time. True. Can you all thank my guests for being here today? Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Strategic Minds Making Money Moves, where we give those strategies to do what? Make that green. See you next time.